Hi, my dear friends. As I have already started to interview our maritime leaders, and today we have honorable our guest, Mr. Rishi Jauhari. Rishi is a marine engineer with over 20 years of dedicated service in the maritime industry. Currently with Eastaway Ship Management, committed to sustainability, he drives innovation and collaboration in every project. Hi, Rishi. Nice to see you
Hi, Mr. Binay. I'm
at our channel.
good to see you guys
Yeah.
again.
So, Rishi, can you tell me, in your understanding, what are the key challenges to achieving decarbonization in the maritime industry?
Well, Binay, I would say these challenges can be categorized in a few factors. The first factor, as like everybody has, every company, every owner, every manager, uh, they are actually building their own roadmaps for achieving the 2030 or 2050 targets. I would say that there are some limitations and complications which comes. That is one in terms of the financial investments. That is always that is the biggest challenge for any of the ship owner or ship manager. How do they want to invest their finances? Because all depends upon the ROI, and everybody is actually just foreseeing the trends, how the shipping and logistics going to take a turn, because the shape is still not very clear. The second challenge which comes is the ambiguities in the maritime laws which are constructed. I would say that since like 2020, uh, the IMO has started looking into changing 0.5% sulfur to bring it down to 3.5%. And then later on, they come to the 0.1% point that this is what they are going to follow. Some ports, they have their own different regulations and requirement. All that factored in, the biggest challenge is the crew. See, any company will do the investment, any operator will run the asset, but who is the main driver? It's the key is the ship staff which is on board. We have not armed them by technological advancement skills in their knowledge, neither by theory nor by practical aspects, and we look for achieving a great amount of this Herculean task, which is a 2050 IMO guidelines of having a net zero. All things said and done remains on the paper. It's all good, but when it times come to execute, the executor is only on the ship. You can have a lot of technologies involved to remote monitoring system, guidance, and checking the things remotely and keep telling them. But end of the day, till the time you see and you guide them, it's a time gap where this kind of a understanding is should be given to the crew on board so that they can enhance their skills and they uplift themselves from that old era and come back to this new generation where they need is actually a support by having a webinars, by having a technical theories given to them, by having a conducting a virtual training sessions, conducting an offline and online platforms for them to keep guiding them how they can upskill their knowledge and enhancement. So that is the key challenges which I see, and all that thing for me as a shipping industry guy who deals with the ship every day and night. For me, the biggest factor which comes as a shipboard people skill, that is the biggest factor.
Yeah, thank you, Rishi. And tell me, how can we ensure a just transition for seafarers as the industry decarbonizes and potentially shift towards automation?
Well, Binay, I would say that the transition is actually is a very long process. It's not a one day achieving this thing. It's not a one day goal. You can't actually educate a one person today and then tomorrow he is in a different place, in different position. Then you need to actually re-educate and give another round of skill-based training sets for them. So every company actually has to have a cyclic approach in this, in which actually I would say they should have a more frequent workshops and seminars, which gives an interactive sessions. Secondly, they can have an online courses, which give them a basically a kind of accessibility to a training platform, which covers the topics of especially emphasizing on energy efficiency or waste management, and making them aware about the sustainable operations techniques. Third, which comes as the onboard training session, where you can actually send people on board who are actually skilled and understand the entire geography of this sustainability, and give them onboard training session and increase the frequency of that to make them aware what all those things. Same time, all this requires a mentorship. Unless you don't have a mentor for educating or for enhancing their knowledge or guiding them what way we have to sail through to this 2050 targets and goals, you will never be able to achieve that. And another one is a very good that somebody can, the companies can adopt, and some companies are actually started adopting that, is that simulation based trainings they are giving them a case studies and group discussions, which the companies actually having a crew seminars in which they actually give these things. But actually what happens in one way you deliver it, but that remains as a deliverable. But when it comes to an execution, you actually need to be engaged more and more and more, so that you can get it into their nerve that this is what they have to do and this is the direction they have to think.
Rishi, you are rightly said that training, as I say, training is an investment, but
Yes.
not anything wrong to say and address to our owners and managers that they are not so, prompt to invest in training. They are investing in training, but they are making complicated case. For example, I am from navigation department. I understand. Take this. There is 100 types of take this. You tell me, if you sit in Audi car, Mercedes car, Volkswagen car, or any car, the system is same. You read manuals or you drive, but not in the case like take this, You have to different take this, different training, isn't it? So we
You're
are
right.
why doing this? Because we are making money. I mean,
Well,
our
I would
manufacturer
say
and
one
say,
point in this,
yeah,
one
go
point
ahead.
in this, like as you said, there's always a different sets. What IMO and STCW has actually put up the guidelines is a generic ones. So they say you need to have an ECDIS training. Okay, but they don't say that you need to have a particularly this ECDIS or that ECDIS or another one. So that's the generic standard they have given, that you have to have a basic concept and the knowledge with you. Now it comes the enhancement of the or upskilling your knowledge. There are two factors which is coming in here. Ship managers are just the managers. They are not considering any value given to the ship seafarers, or they are not trying to add on any values onto it. They are only trying to add on values, how to minimize or how to make the or how to maximize the profit to the owner or to the operator. So when it comes to upskilling these things, it basically comes in the light of the owners. There are many owners, believe me, they are actually emphasizing onto the managers that you have to have a certain set of the crew on the ship, those who are on the rotation. They don't like to have another outsider joining to their pool. A ship manager holds hundreds of the ship owners vessels, but there are certain owners, those who specifically categorize, no, my 10 vessels, you have already dedicated this 50 crew or 100 crew, this need to be circulated. I don't like to have another one unless there is a case of it. So those owners are actually involving themselves to invest in or harness the ship crew with the new technology. They are investing money onto the training to training on them. This is the only way, and it requires the collaboration of owner and the ship operators to drive this industry. It's not the one way. Neither owner can uh, achieve the goal independently alone, nor the operator. nor anyone. It's a collaborative approach by everyone who has to drive it together, and then only you can do that.
Rishi, 100% agree with you, because you see, we are dealing with ships manager as well ships owner. One of our ships owner, MIC group, they are retaining their crew. We have a crew, officers, near about 100, and they retain them for 5 years, 6 years, and they train for modernized vessel. They train for dual vessel. They train a dual fuel vessel. Yeah, for shuttle tanker, for DP vessel. So you see, they're modernizing, and they are transiting from one vessel to LNG vessels and for more modernized. And this is the right things what they are doing. But others, I see, not owners, managers, they concerned about someone to put on vessel. Even I can say you, some owners are agree to put washermen. At least there is numbers. That is a disaster for our industry. Therefore, rightly said that investment and all collaboration all together, as I say, our GMC, our slogan of Global Maritime Community, which I am president. So our slogan, together we are great. Together we can do. And also, you tell me, how can we leverage technological advancement like alternative fuels, that is ammonia, hydrogen, to achieve emission reduction targets?
Well, Mr. Binay, I had actually done a little bit of a study on that, where emission is controlled by these hydrogen fuel and ammonia fuel. This is actually the way forward of the future. And the only understanding right now, which is not fully developed, is the retrofitting of these equipments for an older generation of the vessels. The older generation which are not electronically controlled engines. So the challenge is coming over there, where any manufacturer is taking a very long lead time to do all these retrofitting to convert those. So basically, the ship owners are left with very certain things in the hand right now, is to plan themselves what category of the ships do they have right now, A, B, C, D. And based on that, they have to actually plan themselves whether they want to invest into the retrofitting, and what is the point at the time they have to put it in a retrofitting mode, and what is the time frame when they have to start discarding their own old asset fleet and get into a newer generation of the fleet. The newer generation fleet, actually, the survey that I had done, in that survey, what I understood, till 2030, all the companies are actually not obliged completely to turn into a zero, because they are all actually collecting the data and reporting the data. So collecting and gathering and reporting the data is happening, but to be very futuristic, by 2030, companies do have to completely understand their own pathway, the type of the ships which they have to discard, the new modern fleet which they have to induct, and that kind of a investment they have to foresee from now itself, because they will have only a time frame from 2030 to 2040, and 2040 to 2050 they have to be in a complete implementation. The time when the scope 3 emission comes in, that will be a game changer for everyone. And at the same time, yes, as like what we talk, understanding of this operation of the new methanol ships, new ammonia ships, or LNG ships, this is something which every operator has to train himself. The training of those guys is much more severe and much more frequent than a office-based and shore-based training.
Yeah. Thank you, Rishi, for your insights, and it was great to have you here. And I'm sure that we can, from our channel, address to industry what is best solution for our seafarers and to save our planet, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good, Binay. It's a nice talking to you, and I really hope people look into this aspect. Though the technologies are available and investments are possible, incentives are given by the government for implementation, and as well as the banks are also very open right now to come forward and help the asset owners. But yes, nobody looks at the one typical aspect of how to upgrade their skill set.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, my dear friends. Today we have Rishi from our maritime industry, one of the passionate leader to seafarers community. So we continue, and let's see you in our next session. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.